Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. I'm Rana Nakram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Persons living with disabilities will receive a $50,000 grant, along with new support and job initiatives. An increase in traffic violations has led the government to introduce stiffer penalties and expand e-ticketing to improve road safety. President Ali says Ghana's tourism boom is within reach once operators fully tap into the incentives already waiting for them. And Ghana's UN representative, Caroline Rodriguez-Burkett, says her greatest pride is elevating indigenous identity on the world stage. President Irfan Ali has announced a one-off $50,000 cash grant for every person living with a disability to be paid before the end of this month. He made the announcement today during the national observance of the International Day for Persons with Disabilities, outlining a sweeping program for inclusion, support, and dignity.
I am pleased to announce that I've instructed that a one-off grant of $50,000 be paid to every disabled person before the end of this month, providing direct financial support totaling $1.4 billion to PWDs, $1.4 billion in this initiative alone, the most vulnerable in our society, benefiting more than 27,000 persons.
The grant is part of a broader effort to remove barriers and expand opportunities, including improved access to education and healthcare, modernized benefits, and technology-driven support systems.
Persons living with disability, based on the foundational principles of every faith, must be treated equally with dignity. That is the first and foremost teaching of every faith philosophy. That is, persons living with disability have a right to be treated equally and with dignity. And as a community, we have a duty to ensure that this occurs.
The head of state also announced 5,000 dedicated jobs for persons with disabilities over 5 years, upgraded special needs facilities, expanded training, and a national network of early identification and support services.
Our mission is to create an environment where the disabled can fully participate in all aspects of national life, pursue your dreams, and contribute meaningfully to our nation's growth. Together, we will continue to build a unified, inclusive Ghana, where no one is left behind, and where every single person, whether disabled or not, participates fully and contributes meaningfully to this remarkably exciting period in our country's history. Today, as I close, I urge all of you to embrace this blessing and this test of our faith as a country, to embrace this beauty of this community, to embrace the challenges and opportunities of this community, and together, let us lift each other up.
Future plans include homeschooling systems, accessible public buildings, subsidized home ownership, interest-free financing, and grants for caregivers to create safe, dignified spaces. The $50,000 cash grant will roll out in the coming weeks, marking a transformative step toward a fully inclusive society. Ghana is set to develop a national surveillance system to track diseases in human and animals in real time. The initiative was revealed by Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony at the launch of the Digital Health Training Institute. The integrated platform will monitor both infectious and non-communicable diseases, helping the country detect trends and respond quickly to emerging health threats. Dr. Anthony said that while infectious diseases monitoring has improved in recent years, the new system will be unified, covering all major health conditions nationwide. The Ministry of Health is also partnering with the Ministry of Agriculture to track animal diseases, especially those that could spread to humans. Data from both sectors will be combined on a single platform. The surveillance system will be funded by the Pandemic Fund and the World Bank and is expected to be fully operational within 3 to 5 years. An increase in traffic violations has prompted the government to introduce stiffer penalties for driving offenses. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal said on his weekly program, Issues in the News. Nandlal explained that reforms will target road traffic laws and regulations to protect the public and improve road safety.
We will add more offenses to ticketed offenses. So you will get motor vehicle, you will get tickets now, e-tickets, for a larger number of offenses. And of course, harsher penalties will be imposed for speeding, among other legislative reforms.
He highlighted the e-ticketing system, which tackles speeding and failure to wear seatbelts, as one of the most recent measures.
The spate of accidents on our roads, the spate of fatal accidents on our roads, the great misuse and negligent use of our public roadways continue to be matters that greatly concern our government. And these are matters that we will continuously monitor very closely.
Nanwal suggested the e-ticketing system has been a success since its implementation, noting he has no doubt that once the statistics are properly analyzed, a reduction in traffic accidents will be recorded. Ghana and United Kingdom have signed an MOU to boost cooperation on forest governance and sustainable development under the UK's Forest Governance, Markets and Climate Programme. The agreement reinforces Ghana's leadership in sustainable forest management and aligns with the Low Carbon Development Strategy 2030. Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat said the partnership enhances technical collaboration as global attention on sustainable forestry grows. The UK will provide technical and institutional support, including through the European Forest Institute's Rapid Response Programme, to strengthen forest governance, expand sustainable market access, and support forest-dependent communities. The MOU will also advance the Ghana Timber Legality Assurance System, ensuring internationally recognized forest management standards. During the signing, British High Commissioner Jane Miller praised Ghana's global climate leadership from the Glasgow Declaration to carbon markets. When returned, President Ali promises tourism operators a business support team. GDF ranks engaged on parenting and child support, and Ghana's UN Envoy reflects on her journey from Morocco to the world stage.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Welcome back. President Ali is unveiling a new team to help tourism operators access incentives and prepare for rapid sector growth. According to the head of state, Ghana's tourism sector is poised for major growth, but only if operators start using the generous incentives already available. Speaking at the Ghana Tourism Authority's 2025 Awards and Gala, he revealed that fewer than 10% of incentives are being accessed, even though Go Invest has no pending applications. To close that gap, he announced a new technical team of young professionals to help operators write proposals, form consortiums, and meet every regulatory requirement.
I'm here to tell you that the sector is not making use of 10% of the incentive that is available to the sector. As I speak to you tonight, there is absolutely not one outstanding investment application at Ghana Office of Investment. And Andrea is here, Baganara, an investment of about $1.5 million US, 100% exemption. We fixed this.
The team, he said, will guide operators step by step through business planning, proposal writing, taxpayer identification or TIN registration, company setup, and compliance to ensure they qualify for concessions. He stressed there is no backdoor system.
If all the operators in this room come together and raise $10 million US, and then come to the president and say, out of these 9, we want to form one consortium and take one to the next level. We can raise $10 million. Help us go to the IDB Invest and raise another $30 million so that we can build this one as a consortium. That is the role of that.
Ali also pointed to the strongest tourism development pipeline in Ghana's history, including more than 15 new hotels, 2 regional airports, the expansion of CGIA Terminal 2, upgrades to 32 hinterland airstrips, major waterfront enhancements, the Quarantine River Bridge, and large-scale road links connecting Ghana to Brazil.
They're not isolated projects. They form part of a larger national push to build a stronger, more diverse economy. We are also expanding what Guyana offers. We're developing expedition and luxury cruise tourism, We're building a strong sports tourism sector. We're growing our festival tourism, niche and festival tourism.
The head of state explained that Ghana is actively pursuing major global cultural and sporting events and has submitted a formal bid for an extraordinary global event set for 2030. He concluded by urging operators to embrace incentives, collaborate boldly, and prepare for the rapid expansion now taking shape across the sector. Shared responsibility in raising a child support, and the importance of both parents being present for the child were among key areas discussed when the Human Services and Social Security Ministry held an interaction session with members of the Ghana Defense Force. The session hosted yesterday by the Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Policy Unit included an address from Minister Vindhya Prasad.
So many women come to me and cry they're not getting child support. So many. The women will make the child and she own. And sometimes it's not one child, 5.
One man.
And hear what I say. When you ask where's the dad, we can't find him. Or the dad says, oh, I can only give $1,000 or $2,000 a month. How is that going to mind your child? And you see, I need to change this thing. When there are children, 2 people make those children. 2 people are responsible for their welfare and well-being. And look, it's not only about the money, you know. Men and women have to be a part of their children's lives.
Mr. Prasad also clarified that men can have custody of their children.
He asked what is wrong with the child living with their father. Nothing. Nothing. Children can live with their father. If their mother cannot provide, they can live with their father. If you have a split in your relationship, nothing wrong with that. If a relationship is unhealthy, don't stay in it. But if children are involved, they can have what you call, by the court, joint custody or full custody.
During the session, officers, particularly the men, showed strong interest as they asked thoughtful questions on matters such as protection orders, occupation orders, and the broader measures available to safeguard families. The interaction was part of activities to mark 16 days of activism, reinforcing the ministry's work to protect families and end violence in all its forms. Ghana's representative to United Nations, Caroline Rodriguez-Burkett, says she is proud to champion indigenous identity on the world stage after a journey that began in humble circumstances. Raised in Santa Rosa, legally Maruca, Rodriguez-Burkett recalled leaving for Georgetown at 16, driven by hope but unsure of what awaited her. She said discrimination was common, but it strengthened her resolve to succeed. One of her proudest achievements, she said, has been helping to raise the self-esteem and national pride of indigenous people.
I'm proud about a lot of things. But first, I would say when I came to Georgetown and I would be walking down the street at the time from Kingston to the bus park, and people would say things to you, hey, Buck girl, how you doing? You know, we need a maid. We need a, you know, because it felt really degrading. And once I was in the position of minister, I thought we needed to have our collective self-esteem raised.
At just 27, she was invited to serve as Minister of Amerindian Affairs, a responsibility she embraced as a chance to inspire the next generation.
I never sought to join politics, but we were just going to elections a few months before 2001, and I received a call that the president would like to see me, President Jagdeo at the time. And I went to meet him, and he told me he was doing the list of candidates. I remember it like yesterday. It was him, Mr. Ramatar, who was General Secretary, and Dr. Luncheon, and Mr. Nabat went with me as well. And he told me he was doing the list of candidates, and he was looking for young people, he was looking for women, he was looking for indigenous people, because he wanted the list to be balanced. And I ticked some of those boxes.
During her tenure, Amerindian Heritage Month expanded dramatically beginning in September 2001 with the introduction of the Heritage Pageant, a week-long exhibition, cultural showcases, and activities that celebrated the diversity and richness of indigenous heritage. Now a senior diplomat, Rodriguez-Burkett says her mission remains grounded in where she came from, the belief that education, pride, and opportunity can transform communities and a country. Ghana's tourism sector took center stage last night as pioneers, innovators, and community leaders were celebrated at the Ghana Tourism Awards and Gala. hosted by the Ministry of Tourism and the Ghana Tourism Authority, under the theme Jewels of the Night. President Dr. Irfan Ali emphasized tourism as a national priority and a key buffer against global economic shocks.
Tourism is a vital, fast-growing industry. It is exactly the kind of sector that can cushion our economy against external commodity shocks. It is also a cornerstone of our wider strategy to diversify the local economy, broaden our sources of growth, and generate and sustain meaningful employment for our people.
Tourism Minister Susan Rodriguez highlighted an 18% rise in visitor arrivals and a bolder agenda for 2026.
We will intensify capacity building across all regions so that quality and professionalism are present in every tourism destination. The Tourism and Hospitality Training Institute will move from construction to full operational readiness, increasing the number of trained workers who can meet the demands of a rapidly growing sector. Regional tourism desks and information centers will be strengthened, and we will work closely with local leaders so that standards are clearly understood and consistently maintained. We will advance product development with greater urgency.
The minister also announced expanded product development, greater business support for villages and entrepreneurs, and the creation of a national events calendar to boost year-round tourism, while Director of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Cameron Baksh, highlighted the agency's focus on strengthening community-led tourism and expanding the national portfolio.
So what we're looking at is specialization, and that's the way we need to move the industry so that, one, it can elevate the profile of the destination, and two, persons can recognize that tourism is or has multiple arteries that can give you a sustainable career.
Awardees were recognized across multiple categories, including Best Emerging Tour Guide, Best New Tourism Experience, and Green Destination certifications. Officials say Ghana is on track to become one of the region's top tourism destinations. When we come back, GBTI backs a major regional school football tournament. New Zealand tightened their grip on the first test, and Caribbean Airlines access 2 routes in sweeping network shakeup.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
You're watching Night News on 6 at 6. Thanks for staying with us. The Ghana Bank for Trade and Industry, GBTI, is a major sponsor of this year's Goodwill International School Football Tournament. The bank is contributing $1.5 million toward the event, set for December 14th at the Ministry of Education ground. At Tuesday afternoon's handing over ceremony, Head of Marketing Parental underscored the bank's commitment to youth and sport.
GBTI is part of the sponsorship because as we are a bank, we believe in investments. And we are making an investment in the future of Guyana. Football, the beautiful game, really is one of the sports that I do believe the Caribbean, not only Guyana, but the Caribbean as a whole, could make an impact on the world stage. And just last night, we saw the Lady Jacks play, and we've seen them continue to do well. We've seen the junior teams of Guyana also continue to do well.
Co-director of the Petra organization, Troy Mendonça, while expressing appreciation for the sponsorship, stressed how important tournaments like this are for developing young football talent.
I want to say to you that your contribution is not only a donation as it relates to covering our logistics and so on, but is an investment that you're going to see youths graduating from this tournament.
The tournament will feature schools from Brazil, Suriname, the Bahamas, Jamaica, and Trinidad. New Zealand took firm control of the first test in Christchurch, led by Jacob Duffy's maiden 5-wicket haul and a sharp spell from Matt Henry as they bowled West Indies out for just 167 in reply to 231. Despite 4 dropped catches and 28 extras, New Zealand kept the pressure on. Early breakthroughs from Zach Folkes and Henry left the visitors reeling at 10 for 2, before Shea Hope and Tejaran Chanderpaul steadied things with a gritty 90-run stand. Hope, batting in sunglasses because of an eye infection, reached his 50th, but Duffy's short ball plan finally removed him. Henry Dunn struck twice in one over, dismissing Roston Chase and Justin Greaves. Chanderpaul fought to a half-century but had little support. After he fell for 56, the tail folded quickly. Following a brief rain delay, Duffy returned to clean up the lower order. New Zealand ended the day on 32 without loss, holding a 96-run lead. Virat Kohli hit his second straight one-day international century and Ruturaj Gaikwad scored his first, helping India post a strong 358 for 5 in Raipur. But under heavy dew, it still wasn't enough. South Africa pulled off a stunning chase driven by Aidan Markham's brilliant 100, with key support from Matthew Bretsky and Dewald Brevis. Brevis' quick-fire 54 off 34 balls kept the visitors ahead before a burst of wickets briefly swung the match back toward India. Despite injuries to Tony De Zerzi and Nandri Berger, South Africa needed only 27 runs from the final 30 balls. Corbin Bosch's aggression paired with Keshav Maharaj's calm finish sealed the victory. It was India's feeling that let them down, especially as Shazi Jaiswal's costly drop that turned into 6 and allowed Markram on 53 at the time to accelerate to his match-winning century. Regionally, Caribbean Airlines will suspend 2 recently launched routes to San Juan, Puerto Rico and Tortola, British Virgin Islands, effective January 10th and closes Barbados base in February 2026, shifting all operations to Trinidad's Piarco International Airport. According to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, crews currently based in Barbados will now operate out of Port of Spain. An internal memo says the changes are part of CAL's ongoing network optimization program to ensure route sustainability. The cuts follow discontinuation of Jamaica to Fort Lauderdale services in November, marking the 4th route removed since a new board led by Chairman Reina Kawasar took charge. Sources say the Puerto Rico and British Virgin Island routes, like the Jamaica-Florida ones, struggled with poor load factors. Kawasar confirmed that the airline is reviewing every route and adjusting where necessary. In international news, U.S. Defense Secretary Peter Hegseth yesterday defended a lethal follow-up strike on an alleged drug smuggling vessel, saying the decision was made in the fog of war. Speaking at a cabinet meeting with President Donald Trump, Hegseth said he watched the first September 2nd strike in real time, but did not see survivors in the water, or the second strike that had drawn bipartisan concern over its legality.
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand, because the thing was on fire. It was exploded and fire, smoke, you can't see anything, you got digital. This is called the fog of war.
The Washington Post reported the second strike targeted 2 survivors clinging to wreckage, an order linked to Hegseth's directive that all on board be killed. Hegseth said he had left for another meeting after watching the initial blast, and later learned Admiral Frank Bradley ordered the follow-up attack.
I watched that first strike live. As you can imagine, at the Department of War, we got a lot of things to do. So I didn't stick around for the hour and 2 hours, whatever, where all the sensitive site exploitation digitally occurs. So I moved on to my next meeting. A couple of hours later, I learned that that commander had made which he had the complete authority to do, and by the way, Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat.
He insisted Bradley made the correct decision to eliminate the threat. 2 U.S. officials say Hegseth has approved lethal actions against suspected drug traffickers under a Trump policy treating them like terrorists, though they did not confirm his role in his second strike's operational call. Trump also expressed support Tuesday while noting he was unaware of the follow-up strike. Finally this evening, the death toll for Hong Kong's deadliest fire in decades has risen to 159, with victims ranging from a 1-year-old infant to a 97-year-old. Police say 140 bodies have been identified, 91 females and 49 males. Foreign domestic workers from Indonesia and the Philippines are among 31 people still missing. Survivors from the only block not consumed by flames were briefly allowed home on Wednesday to collect essentials. Meanwhile, more than 2,600 residents remain displaced, struggling in temporary shelters as investigators continue finding remains in stairwells, rooftops, and scorched rooms. Police have arrested 21 suspects for manslaughter, and the city's anti-corruption agency is probing possible graft tied to renovation work blamed for fueling the fire. Chief Executive John Lee has ordered a judge-led inquiry into the blaze and the oversight failures residents had long warned about. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you tomorrow for more Ignite News.